Hey everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. Okay, so we are now at the point where we're ready to build ourselves a spine for this journal and yeah, kind of work on the cover. So, as you can see, it's a chunky little monkey. Let me see how wide it is right now. Okay, so it's all of 2 inches. And that's without any expansion. So I'm gonna make a 2.5 inch cover or spine. Gosh, that's awfully large. I'm not used to making that large of a spine, but I think I think I'm gonna have to. So right here is 2 inches. So I'm thinking a spine out to there, which would allow it to really open up and have more room inside. So, okay. So I need to take some measurements. So, not that measurement. Let's try this. I know how wide. Okay, so the height needs to be 6 inches. Well, isn't that smart of me to do it that way? Okay, so 6 inches high by 2.5 inches wide. Yikes. Okay, so let's start our construction of a spine. These aren't going to be wide enough. I always look in my scraps to make sure I'm using up my scraps first. Before, honestly, I have so much, of this kind of stuff that is just here and available. I never have to buy materials. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is 7 inches tall, so this will work. I needed something to reinforce the front and the back with. So now I need to go into my, oh, you know what? I have this from some colored pencils that I just recently bought. It's not very thick though. I want something thicker. Well, or should I just try? I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna have to glue pieces together. Let's see what else. We got some penne pasta. Let me take this apart. These are odd shaped, odd sizes. Not for boxes of pasta, but for books. So I actually have a lot of this kind of thing, and I don't ever use them the way that I feel like I should. So let me try. Let's see how wide this is. 2 inches. Let's see how tall it is. 7 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna try. The thing is, it's got that in the way. How wide is this? Oh, it's 4 3/4 inches wide. So I would need 2 of those. Okay. I am gonna go into my big old box of whatever this is. This is like, seriously, like, I keep all of my, yes, I've been eating these. They're not bad. When you don't eat foods that most other people eat, you kind of lose the flavor for things like that. Oh, let's see. This is not wide enough. This would have been perfect. So when you have, fake meat, and fake cheese, it's not too bad. It's not very healthy, really, but, it does the job when I'm in a pinch. So, these are actually a really good thickness, but I don't know. This is an envelope that I was going to ship. Make sure I don't have an address on there. Okay, so I think I've got what I need for this one. Sorry, I'm not really explaining anything to you. It's at the end of the night. I'm just trying to, I've been trying to be creative all evening today, and it's just not happening. So I figure, well, I got a spine and a book cover to finish, so let's work on that. If I can get this to fasten again. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna keep that handy because probably will use it. All right, I'm gonna stick that in there. Okay. So my process for this is I need 6 inches wide by 2.5 inches, 6 inches tall by 2.5 inches wide. I know I can get at least one piece from this, so I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this down. I'll keep this for something else. Okay, so I always like to take off the the edges and stuff. Like, this isn't really usable, so I will throw those away. But I do try to keep as much as possible and use as much as possible. I think I'm gonna make a pasta dish for lunch tomorrow. Kind of hungry for some pasta. Okay, so I like this edge better than this one, so I'm gonna cut from this side. So we need 2.5 inches. Oof, boy, guys, this thing is gonna be a monster. And then this will make a really good spine for something else. And then we need 6 inches tall. So there we go. And I'll throw that away. So I'm just gonna do this with a few more pieces, and I'll come back with you after that. Alrighty, so I went ahead and I've got 3 pieces of this and then 2 of these. So I'll explain more about those in a minute, but for now I need to sandwich these and glue these together. I usually use Fabri-Tac for this because I just really like the way that it works. You could use tacky glue, would be a good choice as well. It's just Fabri-Tac does not, it's alcohol based glue, and so because of that it doesn't have water in it, which means then it doesn't warp your paper, because obviously glues that are water based will warp your paper. So I just find that it's a little bit easier to use Fabri-Tac. Now I do pay for it. Fabri-Tac is not cheap. But you know, it's definitely worth its price. So I wonder if they've figured out that all of us junk journalers are using their glue, because I don't know about you guys, I think about these things once in a while, I guess because I work in the world of retail, but when the junk journal craze kind of took off and, you know, everyone really kind of started talking about Fabri-Tac and using it, and like, I think about the people at the Fabri-Tac company and wonder if they ever, like, kind of finally realized, oh, it's because, you know, people are talking about us on YouTube when they're making their junk journals, and wait, what's a junk journal? You know, and I'm thinking about these marketing people that are probably putting PowerPoint slides together about junk journals. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I think about those things. So, okay, so this I'm going to let dry for now. You know what? I got to find a fabric for this spine. Oh, somebody was angry. Did you hear them speed away? My goodness. So, let us find something fabric for the spine while we wait for this to dry. I'm going to pull out my little bin here of fabrics. Yeah, I've been working on a PowerPoint presentation for like literally for the last week. I mean, seriously, all I did yesterday was reformat charts. like seriously, you're paying me to do this? Okay. I guess if that's what you want. But okay, so wow, this might be kind of perfect actually. This is a nice cotton duck cloth, I think. But let's just keep looking. Well, because I'm looking over here at my cover, and this color actually is really nice with it. So, well, we need an outside and an inside fabric. So let's go ahead and keep this on the short list for the outside fabric. I do like this too, but I don't know if it's quite right for this journal. I don't want anything flowery. I want something plain, probably. This would be another good one. I tend to prefer to use the thicker fabrics for the outside fabric. This one's not too thick. This would make a good inside fabric. Should we do ticking on the inside? Well, let's pull that one out too. No flowers. This one's not quite right. Don't want Christmas. Muslin is always a good choice. That's just some natural muslin. Here's some more of that same. I do like the dark gray. It's a little bit thinner though. This is from a fabric quarter, so it's a little bit thin. So as you can see, maybe you can't. You can kind of see my hand through there. So when I use these, I have to be super careful with the glue, especially, and all that other good stuff. So, pink isn't quite right. Ouch. Oh, I also have some of this, which I really, really like this. I wonder if this would be wide enough, though. This is also a gray, but do you see how thick it is? It's like an upholstery fabric. I've had it for so long. It's so soft. Here's my spine. Yeah, it's not even, it's not even gonna cover. Nope. Oh, and now that I'm thinking about this, how wide is this? Okay, that is actually the perfect width for what we're doing, and I would just cut it because I don't want all those runs in the fabric. So I think this is our winner chicken dinner. Winner for the outside. Still not 100% sold on the inside. We could do the same on the inside, but that's just no fun. This is really pretty. Also, don't think it's quite right for this journal though. Handkerchief, very, very thin and see-through. Here's some that I've dyed with just black paint. So this was white. This was this white fabric actually, and then I just did layers of watered down paint. You know, that's something I should do again. I did it for Halloween journal a couple of years ago. I just haven't done it again. Okay, so yeah, I'm not really seeing anything else in here that's ooh, what about this? Could we put this on the inside? Maybe kind of cool. I mean, I think the inside is a little bit more eclectic. Well, I think the whole thing is, so let's see, how wide is this? Yeah, I think that would look really cool. Let's do those. So we have our outside and our inside. They're both fairly thick. fabrics, but that'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. Now, considering how thick this journal has gotten, and I've already known that I'd needed to do this since probably signature 2. The puzzle the board that we're making our journal cover from is just like, you know, from a puzzle box, so it's not super thick. So I've known that I will need to add more thickness to that to reinforce it. Oh, and I've already put away all my stuff. Okay, well, I'll find something else. So, okay. So, we have this and we have this for our outside and this for our inside. This is a little bit wrinkly, so I'm going to go ahead and spray this with some water. And so that way it can be kind of drying by the time I'm ready to really use it. I'm just going to kind of do my hand iron. Get rid of some of these wrinkles here. And while we continue to work on the spine piece, this can sit over here and dry on its own. Wipe that water away. Okay. So, this part, unfortunately, I'm not going to film for you while I'm filming it, but I'm going to have to cut it out. If you'd like to learn how to create a curved book spine, I'll link Nick the Booksmith down below and her tutorial. It is a paid tutorial, which is why I'm not going to just share it, because she spent a lot of time, I'm sure, putting all that work into creating the tutorial. I don't want to just, you know, rip her off. So, okay, so I'll be right back when this is ready to be covered with the fabric. Okay, so I've got the, I did take my pokey tool, and on the other side of this shiny piece that I added, I scored it because then the glue can get into the paper easier instead of just sitting on top, and it'll hold better. So this is still a bit pliable, so I need to kind of let it dry and harden up. I ended up not doing the other side with the glossy because I think it's plenty thick, and sometimes if you get them just too thick, then they're just not very workable. You can't, they're not as usable. So, okay, so now let's focus on strengthening our puzzle board. I forgot that I had saved the back part of this puzzle. So I think what I'll do is just use what we've got here. And let's see, I want to make sure I can get both pieces on and cut. So, which I know it will work because it worked once, so it should work twice. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark with my pencil lines. I guess I don't need 2 lines, but because I'm going to take this to my cutting board again. I don't know if that pencil is visible. Okay, so, and there's one piece missing. I am going to cover this with some, well, or should I? Or should I just keep it this natural? I don't know. We'll make that decision later. But for right now, I'm going to try and, or will I? Let me think about that. I need this to be taller. Sorry, I got out my old cutting mat because, just because, I didn't want to ruin my other one. And when I'm doing a bunch of gluing and stuff, it's just, they get grungy pretty easily. Okay, well, shoot. Okay, so I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. Let's just do this. And I'll follow my line rather than the grid on the cutting mat. And it'll be just fine. Oops, if my ruler doesn't move, I need to get my other ruler out. So when you're cutting like this, from my experience, which isn't as much as a lot of people have, lighter strokes are better. It's easier to do more strokes in a lighter way than, well, it's not easier. Well, I think it is, but it's easier to cut yourself if you're pushing really hard. So I just prefer to kind of let the knife guide, and I cut as many as I need to until it frees itself. And you get a nicer edge that way too, I've found. Okay, now let's try the cutting board, or whatever this thing is called. My problem is my line is not straight with the lines of the... I need to change this blade anyway, so... Okay, that's alright. I'll fix that. Okay. Halfway there. 3/4 of the way there. Line up my lines. I know you guys can't see this. I'm sorry. Okay. And break it this way so it won't rip. Oh, I need to... I'm not done. I need to cut this in half. Alright. So. Let me use a pen this time. Did I cut that straight? Oh my gosh. I sure didn't. Or maybe it's... Nope, it's not. It's not straight at all. I need to try that again. Okay. Let's cut here. And yeah, I'm covering this. Oops. As I move it. Covering this anyway, so go ahead and cut. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's not straight. Okay. It's easier when you have more than you need than less. You can't add more to it. Alright, so I will recut this. Part of the problem is that this is just a little bit warped from, you know, all of its years. There we go. Okay, now let's cut it in half. This is not straight at all. Okay, so there we have it. Now, let me see if I can match these up. Okay, let's say that's a match. So I'm going to glue these together. These are going to be thick. I'm trying to decide what I want to do to finish them. But no thicker than a regular book cover would be, so. Okay. Really, it's just not straight. I think actually the problem is my first cover is not straight. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to hide that a little bit. But I'm actually a lot happier with how much thicker this is now, so. Okay. I'm going to stick this underneath something so that it will get nice and, let's just stick it under here. Okay. Now, let's do the same thing with this one. Boy, these are just not... I didn't cut these very... I think the problem is the first cut I did on this cover. Okay, well, I'll have to fiddle around with this one too, but that's all right. Okay. Let me stick these under here to flatten and dry. And let me check what we're got going on here. So I think this is good. I'm going to go ahead and score this side too. For some reason on my pokey tool, it got bent on the very, very, very tip. And so now there's like a nice scratchy part of it that works perfect for doing this. So I just gotta twist it just the right way and try not to flatten my curve here. Boy, that's a phrase I never thought I'd say. It's a phrase that we've heard too much of. Okay, so let's see, this is pretty well ready to go. So let's see, what do I need to do? I need to cover this side with our fabric that's going to go on the outside of the journal, but first I need to make sure it's the right height. And in this case, it's not going to be wrapping around the top and bottom because of the way that I'm going to do this spine. I just need to, and actually there's runs on the bottom too. Although I do like the roughed up edge. Well, okay, so let's just do this. And then I'm going to snip this off right there. rip it. Creating so many more wrinkles that we just got rid of. Okay. So there's our spine cover. Yep, that's gonna work perfect. It's so nice when I don't have to measure all kinds of different ways. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just add some glue to this side. And I will smooth this out with my finger. Just want to make sure I get all the surface area covered here in a nice thin layer. Even though this is a thicker fabric, it is possible for this glue to seep through the fabric, and then you can see it, unfortunately, on the other when it dries. So I want to avoid that as much as possible. So now I'm just going to very carefully put it in the middle. And I'd say that looks about right. Get some of this glue off my fingers here. It's going to make a pain. Okay. I'd say those are about even. So now I'm just going to smooth that down and just make sure it's adhered. I am going to cover this with some lace, so it's okay that it's not 100%. Well, it's actually not very okay. I'm gonna fix that just a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay, so let me find some kind of lace or something to put over the top and bottom to be our headbands for our spine here. So, sorry. I'm looking in this big bag of lace that I have next to me. And I don't know that I have good ones in here to pick from for that, but you guys, I have far too much lace. This isn't even scratching the surface. It's like I'm a hoarder of lace. Okay. I might have to go into my other jar of lace. Find one. These aren't quite right, so I will be right back. Okay, so here is my other jar of lace. Well, this is the natural white and natural colored lace. Like I said, this is not even all of it. It's a little bit embarrassing, actually. Well, I shouldn't be so embarrassed. I've collected some, a lot, and then I've also been gifted a lot. So, you know, when your family and stuff hears that you like this kind of thing, oh, well, I was cleaning and I thought you might like this, that, and the other. So that's, you know, I get a lot of that too. which is fantastic because I've gotten some really great stuff that way, honestly. Okay, so I'm digging around and I keep finding the same one. I did think maybe this one would be okay, but the color, and I'm sorry, the color on the camera may not be great, but I'm not a fan. I don't think that those two brown colors go very well together. So I decided to keep looking. You know, no, this is not even close to being wide enough. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think I'm content with that choice. So I'll go ahead and use this piece for 1/2 anyway. Now when you're cutting this, you want it to stay the same width as your spine, and don't go further from that. Otherwise it just doesn't look quite right. Because if you think about a headband in a book, oh my gosh, is that the exact same? Well, could have done that again twice if I'd tried. Okay, so yeah, because if you think about a headband in a book, it's to, you know, hold the pages into the spine. So that is the purpose, I think, and to keep it all together. So okay, so I want this piece to be on the outside. So I'm taking a long time to do this for no reason. So here we go. Let's just do this. Glue all the way to the end and glue. So looking for the front and back. Glue that right down. Do the same thing down here. Make sure your lace is wide enough that it can glue. You can have enough on both sides to be sturdy too. I've made that mistake before because it's gonna have to wrap around. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up. I like to have a little bit of extra if possible, but I don't think we will for this one. This one's gonna be a little bit tight actually. Okay. So just folding that over, and I probably should have trimmed the frayed fabric. Would have helped me out a little bit. But see, usually I like to have a little bit more a little bit more on both sides, but this will work just fine. So okay, before I do this one, I am going to trim these little frayed pieces, which will help. Okay. Note to self. Maybe don't use this lace again for this purpose. Push this up just a little bit. It's still a little bit pliable, thankfully, so we're gonna make it work. There we go. Now that looks good. Okay. So there we have our headbands on the top and bottom. And let's see, I need to think about the construction and sewing in the signatures. So I want to do a hidden spine, or hidden stitching on the spine, meaning I don't want the stitching to come and show through on this side, because I think I might still do a little decorating on here. I don't like that you can kind of see what's happening underneath that fabric. So, okay, so for right now, I think I'm done with constructing the spine piece. Next steps would be, well, I need to size this, so why don't I go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to do it from this side. And, you know, it's a junk journal, so it doesn't need to be 100% perfectly in line and stuff. Sized. Like, if I had made this one just a little bit taller or something, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I don't worry. In fact, I feel like that kind of gives it more character. So, okay. So there's my inside spine fabric ready to be used for our, this is going to be so cool. Oh, I love this journal so much. Oh, I almost forgot. I was going to ask you guys, I've had a couple of people messaging me or, you know, commenting, oh, let me know when this is going to be available on Etsy. And, you know, this one is spoken for, and sorry about that. But I'm just very curious, like, what part of this journal is resonating with you guys the most? Or maybe it's different things for different people, which is totally cool, too. I'm just kind of curious, because obviously I want to do more of what you guys want. So, yeah. So, if you want to leave a comment on what you like the most about this journal, I'd love to hear what you have to say. So, okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I think, end the video for now. So we've constructed our spine, we've reinforced this. Oh, I was going to find some paper to put on the inside of this. So I had an idea, but now I'm not sure. So I'm going to think about that. And then we'll continue to work on finishing up. That's the back. This is the front. Oh, well, look. Well, no wonder. This is not even, do you see this? It's not even at all. Okay, well, it is what it is. I think I might leave it, because then I'll just cut off all that poor little bird's head, and it's, you know, I don't know, maybe I won't. There, we'll do it like that. That'll be better. Okay. All right. Sorry, my brain is all over the place today. So what was I saying? Oh, we're going to finish up decorating this cover. I have some ideas. Oh, and we still have the Western birds to incorporate somehow. And then that key that I want to back and get into the journal. And obviously we gotta sew in the signatures. I don't know if I'll show you that, but I will show you how I construct the add the spine to the covers, because I'm sure you're all very curious about that. And if you want a sneak peek, go look for my cigar box journal and how I did it, because it's the same exact way. So, okay guys, well, I think that's going to be it for today. And we'll continue this one, if not tomorrow, in the next day or two. I have other journals that, well, I have that envelope journal that's kind of just sitting and hanging out, and I haven't done anything with, because I've taken a little bit of a break from working in my craft room. So, and it feels good to do that once in a while. I just need to do that once in a while. So, anyway, I've got some ideas on next altered book kinds of things, and so I might do another altered book soon, like in the next week. So hopefully you're into that, and yeah. All right, well, that's it for me today. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.